Hello, everybody. It's Alex back here with another podcast.
And that'll be the intro. So yes, Sunday Showdown is back now for the new 25-26 season of soccer. Uh,
Hmm.
Raf's very excited. I'm very excited, and there's a lot to talk about in this first episode back. To start with, I just wanted to talk about the Crystal Palace controversy.
Well, the fact that
The fact that they've been
they're owned by a corporation.
Yeah, and that they've now having to play Conference League football when they should be in the Europa League.
It's not their fault, but it is what it is.
I said this to my dad literally like 2 days ago. I don't get how Leon can get relegated in the league because of their financial issues, win the appeal, and then still be in the Europa League when they've done everything wrong and not Palace.
What is it that Leon did?
It's so the owners, people that have bulk ownership in Leon, own a minority share in Palace.
Yeah.
And now, because of that, Palace can't play in the Europa League because Leon are in the Europa League. But Leon also have financial issues, which got them relegated to League Two of the French League, but they were allowed to keep the Europa League spot.
Personally, I like Leon.
I like Palace more than Leon. I'd rather see Palace in Europa League than Leon.
It's interesting because realistically, you're missing out on a whole lot of money going from the Europa League to the Conference League.
Yeah.
But as a fan base, if I'm a Palace fan, I mean, this may be controversial. I mean, I would obviously rather be in the better competition. It's more money,
Yeah.
it's more competitive. But as a Palace fan, especially with the reports of Eze wanting to move away, and the reports of Mateta still wanting to move away, and Mark Guehi may be leaving in the last few weeks of the season of the transfer window. Realistically, what I'm thinking as a Palace fan is if arguably three best players leave,
Mm.
the conference league is going to be a much better place to build. It's a much better place to get some experience and arguably go on and win a competition and gain a place for next year, rather than the Europa League where we could go up against. I'm not 100% sure who's in it, but if Palace was to go up against like a Leon or like a Roma
Mm.
or someone,
They'd probably
I don't
get
know
laid
how.
out.
I don't think they'd be laid out, but consistently going up against those up and stuff, I don't think they'd be. But whereas as a conference league, you look at Chelsea's run last year. They played the hardest team they played was
In the
what?
finals, though.
Yeah, Betis or
Yeah.
Copenhagen, and again, those are two teams I can see. It really just depends on where you look at it, but I think it is a disappointment, and I think it is a shame from the fact that they shouldn't be penalised for something that really isn't in their control. They can't. They could have sold that minority stake, but they're not gonna do that.
Thing
It
is,
doesn't. It shouldn't
the
really
person
matter.
that has all the issue was trying to sell their minority stake in Palace, but for
But
some
it's
reason
all.
they wouldn't go through or something.
But like Strasbourg in France,
Mm.
they're on the up, and they're owned by the same people as Chelsea. And if them and Chelsea end up in the same competition, you're not going to kick either of them out of a competition. Girona were in the. I swear, Girona were in the Champions League last year. Or it was, and Man, they are owned by the same people as Man. I'm
Yeah,
confused on
yeah.
where
Didn't they come like third or something?
I don't know where the rules lie with it. I don't know how it works. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm, but from what it sounds, is it's just a whole lot of
Yeah.
unfortunate and a whole lot of yeah.
I mean, Palace fans have the excitement of European football, but as the club goes, it's probably fucking annoying because they're not getting that extra bit of money from being in the Europa League.
From a neutral fan point of view, this is how I wanted the season to end. It's unfortunate how it laid out. I wanted to see Crystal Palace in the um
In the Europa League.
Europa League, in the Conference League, and I wanted to see Nottingham Forest in the Europa League.
Really?
Yeah, because Forest,
I
as
mean, yeah,
much as the
Forest
end
were
of their
good,
season,
but there's
they burnt out so hard at the end of the season. But they were going to be third. They were going to be Champions League. They were on track to be the Champions League spot if Chelsea didn't. The rest of Chelsea's team didn't turn everything around at the end of the season, and Man City as well start turning up at the end of the season, as well as Nottingham Forest also falling off in form. Everybody, because at the end of the season, if I remember correctly, Gibbs White was great all season long, but at the end of the season he really showed up. But I also remember, if I remember, they stopped scoring as much, and they didn't start
Yeah.
losing games, but they consistently were drawing games, and they kept dropping points, um, which is unfortunate.
Mm.
But I think I wanted to see it, but and then they lost their Europa League place because Palace won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
But having again, as I said, I've said what I've said about Palace in the Conference League, and I think in the Europa League, I think again, I don't know if Nottingham Forest will go far, but I feel like it will be a great place and a lot more competitive for them, and it will be great for them because well, Gibbs White's still there now.
Mm.
Um,
Even though I was even meant to move to Spurs 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
now he's still at
that was
Forest.
funny. Yeah, the ownership sued Spurs or whatever. I don't know. That was
Oh
funny.
yeah,
That was really
because
funny. He
they were
spoke to him
talking to him over personal agreement
in
without consent from the club.
yeah, and then they like sued Spurs and that. Yeah, that was a funny one.
Yeah, Forest have had their whole legal team out this window, so it's trying to get Palace into the Conference League so they can get Europa League, and then also trying to keep Gibbs White in
Yeah,
their back pocket.
yeah. It's
Uh,
just interesting 'cause- yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We'll talk about that later on.
yeah. So yeah, the transfer window this season already has
Mm,
been pretty hot.
I don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk about it, but we're gonna.
No, I do want to
Oh,
talk
you
about
do
it.
want to talk about it. So I think what the best way we do this is we go club by club. I've got a list of the signings.
Mm.
Uh, go club by club and rank the club effort in the window at
Are we
10.
ranking 1 to 10 or A to F?
We'll do 1 to
F
10
to F.
because it's just easier.
Okay. 1 to 10. Okay, that's fine. I can
So
do that.
we'll start alphabetically. So
Oh, great.
Arsenal.
Oh, great.
Arsenal. So
I
Arsenal are the most notable signings, as you all know. Madueke, Gokeres, Norgard, Zubimendi, and probably someone else I forgot to write on there.
Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Yeah, I don't like him, so I didn't bother writing it down.
Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. What we think? I mean,
Zubimendi.
it's a good window.
It is a good window, in the window that we lost Thomas Partey, and in the window that we need to strengthen certain things. We've done an okay job. We've gotten a what I was hoping, and I still think will be as a very good person to play under Saka, and someone because in these last few seasons, especially last season when he went out for a few months, Saka has been. I know that there's the jokes about the Saka limp, and he's not obviously that's not like a but he has been playing through injuries throughout the last 3 seasons, and there's not really been anyone to play under him. Of course, we had the thoughts of playing Jesus uh,
Mm.
anywhere in the front three, but he hasn't been able to stay fit. And we've had tries with other wingers, like we had Willian come in on that was a while ago, and we
Nwaneri.
had Sterling and Nwaneri come out of position to play where Saka was while he was injured. But realistically, we haven't had anyone, and I think that's Noni Madueke is a good option to play under Saka. I mean, there's talks of him maybe playing left wing. I
Maybe
wouldn't
maybe
really
instead of
like
Saka.
that. Okay, yeah. But I mean, I don't know how much I'd like that. I'd have to see it first. But I think that's a good signing. I think, as I said, we lost Thomas Partey, which of course Thomas Partey was one of our best players last season. Very
But
reliable,
he's
very
done a few
stable.
things, so
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Don't condone him as a person, but he was very good for us as a player. Um, and Zubimendi can maybe, hopefully, they're not the same because Thomas Partey was he was a solid CDM which a player could start through, whereas Zubimendi has done something that nobody has really been able to do for Arsenal since Ozil, and he does it in a different position. He's going to be able to control the pace of the game, And I think that can really help Odegaard because last season he really struggled having to deal with all that pressure.
Mm,
Whereas I think Zubamendi will be able to. I mean, Declan Rice will be able to carry the ball as he does. He'll
yeah.
be able to have those defensive and have those runs and whatever you want. Whereas I think this takes a lot of pressure off of Odegaard, and I think Zubamendi will be able to control the pace, put in some nice work, and really set up the attack. I think he'll have more of a Rodri role than Caicedo type role. Um,
What
and then
Zubimendi will.
yeah, as in well, Rodri's Ballon d'Or season, he won for just basically controlling that entire
Yeah.
City team to his own. Yeah, and then of course Victor Gyökeres is what we've needed for the last ever. Since Aubameyang, just a striker, someone who can. He didn't look as good in his first game against Villarreal,
Mm,
but he played with, I think it was Nwanya. He didn't play with any of the starting three midfielders. However, the second game when he played with all three starting midfielders, he looked like a much different player, and I'm excited to see what he can do for us because he is a goal scorer. If
he's
we can
done
get some,
very well last season.
yeah, I think realistically, if he scores 15 goals this season, that's still exactly what we need for him. Obviously, we're expecting more, we're hoping for more, but that's
Mm.
still a good season. Um,
Can I ask, who would you have preferred, Gyökeres or Seska? Because you were hunting Sesko for a bit as well.
well, it's interesting you say. I think I you got to look at it from points of view. I like Sesko as a player. He's 23 rather than 28. Um, he's very tall. He's clinical. He's smart, but he's oh, he's Gyökeres is a physicality demon who will play like a he can play as a poacher or an attacking forward,
Mm,
whereas Sesko plays a similar not the same. He can still play as a striker and he can still everybody's team can still bang a goal from distance. But he's also because of his height, he plays. I feel like he'd play more of a Havertz type role. I think not in the centre mid, but as a striker, I think he'd play more of a hold up, more of that Ollie Watkins, which
yeah.
I mean, as much as I think I prefer Jokeres. I think
Okay.
I liked both of them, but I think I prefer Jokeres just as a out and out forward. As a number as a number 9, I think I prefer Jokeres.
Fair
Jokeres.
enough. What about Norgard? So I didn't realize Jorginho left as well.
Oh yeah, that's supposed.
It's just more of a direct swap, more or less.
yeah, pretty much. Well, he was very good for Brentford last year.
Yeah.
He's their captain. Obviously, he'll be very good coming off that bench. He can play. He can take over from many positions. I think he's just a good little kick.
Yeah, so obviously you being the designated Arsenal fan, I'll let you out of 10. What do you think this window so far?
It could have been. As I said, I think we've strengthened stuff we needed to strengthen, but I feel like we've still missed out on a lot of stuff we need to fill. Like that left winger spot still. Like we've been talking about Eze and Rodrigo all transfer window and
Mm,
players like that, and just nothing's been moved. I still think we're struggling to sell players. We've been trying to sell Reece Nelson, Zinchenko. We've been trying to. There's been links to Trossard, Martinelli, Jesus. We've been trying to sell players this whole transfer window, and nobody's left yet, other than on freeze. And it's like you need to get rid of players to be able to bring in the players you want, and it's just we need to bolster our attacking midfield and that left side of the attack, and we haven't. Hopefully something happens, but so far because I think it's been a decent one. I'll give it a 6.
see, I was gonna go like a 7.58.
I don't know because
I think
I think
I think other than that left wing spot, I think you've got a really good lineup.
well, I mean Mosquera as well. He's a great centre back um, option, but it's just so awkward
Mm,
because we brought in a striker that was incredible last season, but he's not prem proven, and we've seen how players come from Portugal and don't do amazing. And I'm still very happy about it. I think he can be great. And he performed in the Champions League, and that's a good sign. But we don't know what he's going to look like, and I can't rank him properly until we do.
yeah,
Um,
fair enough.
Zubamendi who's been great for the last 2 years. I've got nothing bad to say about him. Nodi Madueke again, 50 million is a lot of money for we put that money into an Eze or a Rodrigo. I don't know. I mean, Rodrigo obviously there's a problem that he doesn't want to leave. Um, I just think maybe six is too harsh. Maybe a seven, but I
See,
just
I
think it
thought
could.
you would have gone higher, but I feel like you're also a very critical Arsenal fan.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say that everything's handy dandy,
Because if this was
especially
like
looking at the.
Kai saying this as from the Villa, if these were Villa's signings, he'd be going, "Oh, a 10 out of 10."
We have Villa signed like one person.
Villa, I've got Villa down on my transfer notes here as no notable signings. So
Well, they've got that. They've got one noticeable signing.
who was that? I must have missed.
It's the Gesand, Lille's top player last season, their
Oh,
striker. And I think if they want to get rid of Ollie Watkins and get a new striker, and he's got a different ethos about him, that was a perfect move. But other than that, I'd still not going to say it was a good transfer window. But I don't think that's their fault. Um, but anyway,
yeah,
I think, yeah, I think I'd give it maybe a 7.
6-7. So that's for Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah.
So they, yeah, for Villa signed one person.
Well, they've signed.
Really,
I
they've
think
signed
it's
more than one
three
person,
people.
but one key
They signed a
person.
yeah. They signed a young winger from Frankfurt, maybe somewhere like that. But their main player, I think, is this Gesand
Yeah,
striker.
and to be honest, with this season, especially from last season, I'm surprised Villa haven't been more aggressive in trying to sign top players.
I don't think it's their fault totally. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, but I've not seen a lot in like the news or like oh Villa just investigating talks with this player and this player and this, but I've not seen any of that.
Well, I mean, last year they had an incredible season last year. Of course, they got the Champions League football,
Hmm.
but they also sold their entire women's team to be able to raise funds, and they were able to bring in players like Onana, and of course they sold what's his name uh, Musa Diaby
Hmm.
to Saudi, but and they brought in some big name players, and they like they're most obviously they've got Tielemans now, and they brought in um and they brought in well, as I said they brought in um the
They're bullying people.
yeah Everton's man. I literally just said his name. Um, but this season they don't have Champions League football. They get Europa League. Yeah, they're in the Europa League, which is you will getting into the Champions League. You already get 100 just from getting Champions League
Yeah.
spot in England. You get 100 mil. That is 100 mil that they don't have automatically. They also haven't sold anyone notably. They've not because obviously
They
last
have
year
today.
who did they sell?
I saw while I was setting up to record this earlier on, Newcastle have signed Jacob Ramsey
Oh
for
yeah,
40
Jacob
million
Ramsey.
pounds.
Right, yeah, right, yeah. Jesus Christ. If this was 2 years ago, that'd be a wild move. Um, yeah, God, I was speaking of something. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, do
but
you
no,
reckon
because
it's
of
a
course
case of Villa sell players to then make the money rather than they haven't
well, well,
rather than
yeah,
just
they
buy
last year
buy buy?
they sold Diaby and they sold Douglas Luiz, and they were able to then buy the replacements. But this year they haven't sold anyone. They've been trying to sell Watkins, I think.
Mm.
I'm really not sure what their move is there, and
I think that
I've
still
said
it's
that
like a toying cost. I think if they want to keep him
I
or
was
not.
speaking to so I was speaking to someone at work today, or the other day, a Villa. His name's Alex. Funny enough, he's a Villa fan, and I just think you should sell Watkins now that you've got your new striker, especially. You should sell Watkins, and I think the perfect location for Watkins would be Newcastle because they have um well, their wingers are Anthony Gordon and Anthony and Langer, so
Yeah.
they'll play such and well, I mean, Watkins is a hold up striker, so he'll play that false nine ish role central. But then Anthony Elanga and Anthony Gordon will play on the touchline, so you'll have these two ultra high wingers, and there's one guy who will happily sit back, he'll play slow, and I just think they would play so perfectly together. I just don't think. But what he said is he doesn't think Watkins wants to go to Newcastle, as seen by quite a lot of players this window.
Mm.
As a whole, it's not been the best. They've got a good striker, but other than that, They're just looking to repeat what they did last season and go. I think try to get Europe again and go decently far in the Europa
Yeah.
League.
So what out
And
of
for that,
10?
I can't say what they did is a complete fail, but I'm not going to say it was good either. I'll give it a solid 5.
But I was
It's
going
not.
like just based on the amount of signings they've made so far, like a 3.
I just think because they were able to sell Jacob Ramsey, I think they might be going for something.
Maybe
But
now, yeah. But at the moment they've not
but, but I
not
think
made the
yeah,
signing, so I'm
maybe a
going
4.
3,
I think
4.
it's not been abysmal. It's not like people have been screaming at them that they need to do something, but
Mm,
they haven't done anything. Like obviously everyone has somewhere they need to improve, and they have got that striker, but they haven't really done anything else.
mm. Yeah, I think like a 4 out of 10 is fair, I reckon, at the moment. Go in the middle. So Bournemouth so far, the two main signings I could see was Petrovic and I'm gonna butcher this. Daikite.
Well, it seems as if they've done more outgoings than incomings.
They've honestly, I went on the Premier League website and the amount of the list that they had, mental. But
Well, I mean, they were both their centre backs.
yeah, I'm not
I
sh
don't
I'm not
know.
too confident with them this season. I don't think because they were sort of like a bogey squad last season. They just you'd see them and think, you know what, they could probably take some points off here. But I can't at the moment, just based off the window, I can't see them having that same effect.
Hmm. I just, I don't think they're going to do it. A large part of the fact that they could do what they did is they were able to attack while being able to stay solid at the back. And of course,
Mm,
Dean Huijsen was a big part of that. But he's not there anymore, and neither are there. Both of them the backs have gone. And
that's
what?
why
Yeah,
they've
they
signed
signed
Daikite or
Diakite. Yeah,
Diakite.
yeah. But
No, I
and
think they'll.
Petrovic, of course, I rate Petrovic.
He's a
I
good
think he's a
keeper.
great shot stopper. He was. I was surprised because it was the season before last. When Sanchez went out injured, Petrovic was class. He did very well. I remember a few penalty shootouts, and I remember him being able to save Chelsea from a lot of sticky situations. And I'm surprised they didn't. It's a lot like the Emi Martinez situation at Arsenal when Leno went down. I'm surprised they didn't keep him, and I
Mm,
think he can have a career like Emi Martinez now that he's at a proper team. But I just don't know because obviously their attack is just as good as last season because that's not been touched. It's how well they can thrive and how if Ivan Ellison can keep doing the same stuff and you need them to keep performing the way they did last season. And I'm not saying it was a fluke and I'm not saying it was lucky, but I'm not going to sit here and be like they're going to Justin Cliver. I'm not going to sit here
oh
and
yeah,
be like he's going to be able to get what he got like 10 and 10 again. And I'm not going to
yeah.
say Ivan Ellison is going to be able to score every other game again. And I'm not going to say Semenyo is going to be able to. It's just a tricky one.
Mm,
But as a transfer window, I think it's been a lot of outgoings and not a lot of incoming. Same
yeah,
as Villa, but still
yeah.
better than Villa.
So, if you want to go like a 5,
Yeah,
I guess maybe a
I don't know because
6 if they can fill that gap.
they've just lost so much, and I don't know how confident I feel that yeah, TK or however you pronounce it is going to be able to
Yeah,
fill the void.
I don't think they'll perform as well as they did last year.
And that's the only because with Villa it was like they haven't done anything, but they haven't lost anything.
Hmm.
Whereas Bournemouth, they have done small things, but they've lost so much more. And you'd think from the money that they got from Real Madrid that because it was what 60 million.
Uh, for
I'll check.
recent, it was quite a lot. Yeah, they got a lot of money for the sales they've made, and they haven't really
Yeah,
exactly
50
reinvested
million.
it yet.
I mean, of course, they've got time. They've not got the pull. They're not going to be able to bring in great players. They're going to need to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to fill the whole of that entire back line, back two being readjusted.
Mm. Yeah,
So
I
we'll
think
see. But no,
Bournemouth,
I think
they're in a bit of a tricky situation, really.
yeah,
Uh, so let's go on
I'll
to
go with this 3-4.
3 or 4. Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
because if I go 4 or 4 or 5,
sort of in that middle to low.
yeah,
So Brentford have signed Kelleher, and I
okay,
didn't realise they'd also signed Jordan Henderson.
did.
Yep. When I went on the website today, they've signed Jordan Henderson apparently. So they've done that as well.
Oh yeah, no, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. Another
The amount of money they've made so far this window, just off on Mbeumo, they have not yet reinvested that money at all.
Yep, I think.
It's another
I
Bournemouth
mean,
situation.
yeah, but again, Newcastle is similar to the Newcastle. They want they want because Wisser is one of the top players on Wisser's on
Yeah.
Wisser is one of the top players on Newcastle's radar. So if he goes as well, you've got your captain gone, and Buemo's gone, your keeper's gone. Uh, a lot of role players have gone,
Yeah.
and you come out of it with a very aged Jordan Henderson,
Too old to
a
be playing.
Kelleher who's, I mean, what do you expect him to start?
I think that's their plan.
And a young right back, a young attacking midfielder who to play for. I
Yeah,
really don't know.
they've not really. I feel like they're too focused on trying to keep Visser and trying to actually
Which they
strengthen
really
the
do.
rest of the squad.
I feel like, well, because they got so much money. They got so much money, and they've reinvested it into, yeah, Kelleher
Yeah,
for
and a pensioner.
15 mil. They reinvested in Anthony Milambo from Feyenoord. I mean, I can't say I've seen him play, and I'm like, he's a 20-year-old cam, and you can tell that that's what they want to replace Mbuemo with. But you gain that certain amount of money. Surely you can go and do something more with it. Get a.
Mm,
It's hard with the smaller teams in the Prem, because they don't have the big name vouch, and they can't go and be like, I want to compete for a Xavi Simmons because Chelsea want Xavi Simmons, and
Chelsea was and someone else want him
why
as
would he then
well.
play for why would he play for
Brentford.
Brentford if I can play for like, why would I leave Leipzig to play for Brentford? It's just a tricky situation to be
Yeah.
in. But and it's just kind of like, you look at it like a Brighton business point. They need to be able to have that perfect, we sell players, and then we're able to look at the top players that haven't proven themselves yet, bring them in, and then try and recycle that over and over and over again. And
Mm,
tough spot to break. Obviously, Newcastle were able to do it, but that's because they got money in the name. Villa have seemed to be able to do it, but again, the name, it's just going to be tough to do.
yeah, I feel like Brentford are gonna have a similar season to Bournemouth again, unless they can fix their holes. Uh, I think they're gonna struggle again. Nowhere near as good as last season. But I
Yeah,
think it will be interesting to see how they play. Also, they've got a good manager. No, they don't. They've got a new manager. There's that as
yeah,
well. That might make it even
yeah.
worse. So
Who was the new manager? Who is the new manager?
I think he got a promotion. He was someone that was already
Oh,
working inside the club.
was he the? Oh, okay. Well, we'll see how that does. We'll see, because at the moment they still have Wisser. At the
At the
moment,
moment,
they still have Wisser, and he may still stay. At the moment, they've still got well, they kept a lot of players from last season. They just lost a lot in the meantime. They lost the important ones,
yeah. So
and it's interesting to see how they'll do without Mbeumo getting 28 goal contributions.
yeah, and Vissa matching that.
Yeah,
So I think it's the same. It's like a 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see how the young players do, but I'll probably give it like a 4 or 5 because they
Yeah,
did gain a lot of money from those
they've got a lot.
transfers.
They can do a lot with it. It's just they need to get the right players with what they've got.
They just need to really work on building that attack.
Hmm. Brighton have done another Brighton-inspired window. They have signed lots of South American youths and lots of youth players, lots of young players. No one with a big name that I could see, but a lot of young players that they will probably flip for a 60 mil uh, Brighton window.
We'll see. They've I mean, of course, João Pedro will be a big loss, and Dingra will be a loss.
And if they lose
Um,
Believer as well, then
I think I don't know. It's just a very Brighton-esque transfer window,
I think
and
I'm happy to give Brighton like a 5 or 6 because it's such a Brighton-inspired window.
they're gonna finish 8th again anyway. It
Yeah,
doesn't
they'll
really.
finish mid-table. They won't like nothing will
They're not.
happen.
They're not. It's not a. You can't say it's a bad transfer window because you didn't really have any expectations for them in the first
No.
place.
Yeah, I'm happy to give like a 5 or a 6 because it's Brighton.
Yeah.
So yeah, Burnley, one of the 3 newly promoted clubs, have had a very active window. They've made quite a few good signings. They've got Zion Fleming from Middlesbrough, who was very good last season for Middlesbrough. They got Twanzebe, Kyle Walker, Armand Broja from Chelsea, and Martin Dubravka from Newcastle. So I think they've done very well with this window.
Out of out of the newly promoted teams, Sunderland, Leeds, and Burnley, I feel like in this transfer window, I feel like, in my opinion, they've done the second favourite. I think
Yeah,
Sunderland have had the best of the three, and I think Leeds for some reason feel confident in which they shouldn't do, judging based off of what has happened the last 2 seasons of players of them just coming back up and down. Um, um, but I mean, you can only really see they've got Kyle Walker, a prem proven player. They've got Broha, who on his day can score goals. They've got Dubravka, who can be a solid keeper between the sticks.
yeah. I
You
think
can
they've
just say
done well.
all you can say is they've done what they can, and whether or not it will work, we'll see. But
I
they
mean,
lost James
when Forest
Trafford.
got promoted, they bought an entire new 26-man squad, and they're still up.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, they had to.
yeah,
Um, but no, again, that's another one of those teams that are big from the. But we'll just have to see if it's enough, and I think it can. I'm sure it can be enough.
whether or not it will be is another
Well, they've also
question.
got Leslie Ogachukwu from what's it from Chelsea as well. But we'll just have to see. I think from what they could do, they've done what they can, and that's why I'll give it a decent rating because nobody was expecting them
No,
to like they brought in a lot of big names and a lot of competent players, and nobody expected them to do a lot. And now people maybe are going to say they're going to be fighting for staying up, but they've lost James Trafford as well.
yeah,
Well, they needed to sign Dubravka, and I think all around it's a decent transfer window for what it is. I think I'll give it a solid. I don't know, maybe a 6 or 7, same as
I was
Ashley.
thinking like a 7. So Chelsea have had all their signings paid for by the Club World Cup. They've signed Liam Delap, João Pedro, Gittins, and Mamadou Sarr. I mean, I think Chelsea they'll be contending for maybe a title again.
Yeah, I think
They've got the
I think
firepower to do so.
I think the Premier League is going to be very, very close this year, and I think Chelsea are going to be one of those teams to be doing so. They've pretty much completely reworked their attack. Their attack now is João Pedro, Gittins, Delap, Estevao, and they're looking at more players.
Yeah,
Um, and of course they were able to they sold Noni Madueke for 56 million euros, Joao Felix for 25 million pounds, Petrovic for 25. Shrewsbury Hall for 25, Brohow for 20. They've just been able to pump out players for decent price tags, and then of course the Club World Cup did help, but they were able to. It seems like they were not very happy with their attack last season. I think, which
no,
rightfully so, and Kunku didn't perform to where they wanted them to. Nicholas Jackson has been a disappointment, and I think what they've done has been great. I think João Pedro has looked amazing. I think Delap has looked solid. Gittins is a good option. Neto before, of course, he's not a new signing, but he's been great.
He's a very good man as well there.
He's looking like the only returning player into that. Esteval, of course, is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And if now they're still looking at one more player, it's going to be Chelsea have done well. Chelsea have done Chelsea. They've spent a lot of money, and it will work or it won't. But it's
it's looking like it's working so far.
Yeah.
I'd give them an 8.
I don't know. I think I'll probably give them a 9. I just think they've the only thing I can really think about is that centre back depth with Levi Colwill already going down for an ACL injury.
Yeah,
Wesley being as injury prone as he is, like Hato is a great option, but he's a left back who can play centre back rather than a centre back. And I mean they've got Chalobah and they've got Adebayor, but I think you don't want to be playing them full season round. But other than that, I think I can't fault them.
Nah, I think a 9, completely fair to them. They've done very, very well.
Yeah.
So Crystal Palace, I've writ that they've signed no one notable. But they must have signed at least someone that we can talk about somewhere. Let me double check the website. Who have they got? Never heard of guy from PSV.
Oh, yeah, they signed Sosa.
They've made 2 signings.
They signed Sosa.
Borna Sosa, who...
And they got rid of Rob Holding.
Yeah.
Very, very uneventful.
They released Jeffrey Schlupp, who was their only good striker, backup-wise.
Just very uneventful so far.
Yeah, they've not done a lot.
So, well, they've not really had to do a lot. They look solid.
No.
I mean, they beat Liverpool.
Won the FA Cup. But they've got the FA Cup money, so why have they not?
They won the Community. They don't really need to. They've got the FA Cup money, and that's great for going into the club. But they don't need to rebuild that much. If they lose Eze, I'm sure they'll sign something. And if they lose Eze, Guehi, and Mateta, they'll probably do something. I don't think Mateta's going to leave at this point. Eze will probably go, and the report came out yesterday that it's more than likely that Guehi will stay for the rest of the season and go on a free.
Yeah.
So realistically, they're looking at as a replacement for Eze. But we'll see. I think that I don't know. Again, it's one of those ones that I don't think they really needed to do much to compete. They did amazing last season, and they're in Europe. And I think the aim is to go far in the Conference League, like West Ham did. So I think they'll be. I can't. Again, I'll give it a 5 because they haven't signed anyone, but it's not disappointed me that they've not signed anyone.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like they've sold. But they've not got gaps.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those that it is what it is.
Yeah. So Everton, I've got 2 key signings: Dewsbury Hall, and they've managed to get Grealish on loan.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Don't know how that's going to play out for them. To be honest,
you can only hope.
Whether David Moyes lets him have the same role as he did in that Villa squad, where he just lets him roam
and just do whatever
he fucking wants. But 2 players, that'll help. They'll help Everton stay up. I think that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for to do anything crazy. They've got to stay up.
Actually, no. Neil Maupay came back and then he went again. I was wrong.
Oh.
I think, Dewsbury Hall was unfortunate because he came into that Chelsea team and you were hoping he'd get some minutes, but he didn't need to. They were fine without him, and you can say it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Again, Enzo, they were all fit, and realistically, he's not getting into that team.
Nah.
So he was a great rotation player that they didn't need. But I think he's a good player, and I think Everton could use him.
Yeah.
And I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin's gone, so they're going with what they're committing to Beto up front.
Yeah, I think they just need to sign and replace someone in case. A good backup.
I think if it's not
not very Dyche-esque. Is Dyche still their manager?
It's not Dyche. It's Moyes. I know it is.
It's Moyes. All right, yeah, it's
No.
Moyes, isn't it? Right, what am I saying? It is quite. I think David Moyes could let Grealish do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I don't not whatever he wants, but I think he'll let him roam
He'll
in
have
that
that
midfield.
similar role they did at Villa, where he's just
Yeah,
when you get the ball, do what you think's best.
with City, he's nowhere near the best player on the pitch, and he's not going to be able to have that De Bruyne role, that Foden role, any of those roles to be able to.
No.
But in Everton, it's a different gravy. It's a different story. He's probably going to be able to roam more, even if he wasn't the best player on the pitch. He's not.
He
going to
might
have
find
to
his
stick on
footing again.
Yeah, I think he's one of those players that will perform. He wasn't bad at City. He was a good role player. And I think he'll be. I think he might be able to show glimpses of what he was at Villa. I don't expect madness, but I hope this keeps them up and keeps them slightly competitive in that top 15. And that's all Everton can really hope for at the moment is not to get relegated in their first season in their new stadium. So I'll give it a 6.
6. I thought we've been quite generous with these ratings, to be honest.
I mean, again, they haven't lost anything huge.
Yeah,
they lost Calvert Lewin, but he's been dragging them down.
So...
They've just signed a couple decent players, and I'm not gonna. Oh, boo! It's trash because it's not.
Yeah. Okay. So then Fulham, I've also once again written down no one. They have literally signed one person, Benjamin Leconte, from.
Well, they've been in talks to sign people, or when they've just not signed anyone.
I mean, they've released a couple players.
Well, they've got rid of Willian.
Carlos Vinicius, I liked, to be fair.
Reece Nelson has gone back off of loan, but again, that's one of the players they've been in talks to sign again because he was alright for them last season when he wasn't injured. I don't know. I think if they don't do anything by the end of the season, I'll give it 3. But I feel like they've been in talks to sign so many players. Like they've been in talks to sign about 3 Arsenal players.
Yeah, there's still potential. There's still time. I think for now, 4 or 5.
I mean, there's also talks of them losing Rodrigo Muniz, and if they lose that, I think then it would be a lot.
Then they're in a tricky spot.
But I think right now they've not. Again, it's one of those ones that they've not done anything. I can't really say it's trash, but I think they did need to strengthen a little bit more to stay a little bit more competitive. And I'll just say rather than I know they've been linked to things and they just haven't moved. So from that, I'll say probably about a 3 or a 4. And I think if they lose Rodrigo Muniz and they don't sign anything, I'm going to say a solid 2. Yep. But right now, I'll probably go the 4.
Yeah, fair enough. So Leeds signed Sean Longstaff.
Leeds were the best of the 3.
Leeds had the strongest squad, yeah.
Like they've seemed to just try to bolster their defense. I think they know what's coming in the Premier League at the game, so they bought some decent looking defense. They bought in the defensive midfield from Hoffenheim.
I mean, I would like Leeds to stay up.
I like Leeds as a team.
Same.
But I think I was high on them coming into the season, and I still am.
So Leeds out of 10.
I don't know. They've not done it. Like again, they've
5,
tried to bolster them.
middle part.
I'm not gonna. I'll give it a 4 or a 3. I'm not gonna.
Sean Longstaff.
I know Sean Longstaff, but like look at the other 2 teams and what they've done, and you're going to tell me Leeds, which is arguably a bigger club than both of them, couldn't do anything to the same size.
Yeah,
just disappointing. I'm gonna give them a 3.
Liverpool, I mean, 10.
No. I think if they sign Mark Guehi,
if they sign Isak, it's a 10. I don't think they don't need Guehi to make it 10. They've already got.
I think they do. I think
Dashvili, Frimpong, Wirtz, Kirkers, and Ekitike.
Yeah, but looking back on last season, going into this season, what is it that they needed to strengthen?
Sel Van Dijk.
Their defense.
Yeah.
What is it they haven't strengthened?
Their defense.
I'm not going to slate them. I think they've had one of the best transfer windows. But I'm not going to give it a 10. Yeah, they've signed Kirkers and Frimpong, 2 attacking defenders. Like, I don't know what you expect. It showed everything. Everything I said about I've been saying about Liverpool in the past showed
in there. I mean, again, it's the Community Shield. It doesn't mean much, but it showed that their defense is left high and dry. Kirkers is a good defensive fullback, but you could show that he's going to be focused on a lot more for his mistakes than he was at Bournemouth. And he lost the ball. He gave the ball away a lot. Frimpong did what they expect him to do. No one is expecting Frimpong to defend, and that's fine because he's taking from Trent, and nobody expected Trent to defend. But Van Dijk's just getting older. He's just gone through an ACL injury, and you can tell.
If you're Liverpool now, what do you do with Van Dijk?
I keep him because he's a veteran. You keep him until you have to sell him because he's still a class player. I think he's still one of the best defenders in the league. And he's going to be able to teach the young players a lot. Like the guy that they just brought in from Parma.
Yeah.
Was it Parma? Yeah, he's going to be able to. It's
I saw him this
invaluable.
morning as well.
Yeah. But Kanate, it seems like Kanate's had one foot out the door the whole window, and he's still here, and that's fine. But I think that Van Dijk's only going to get worse from now on.
Yeah.
And I think you could see that. I think
last season he made a lot of mistakes.
Their centre back rotation is now Kanate, Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, and this kid from Parma. I don't know what I'm going to expect from that, especially since Van Dijk doesn't seem to be able to play 90 minutes, especially 38 games on top of Champions League and the top of FA Cup and the top. I just don't know what to expect from that defense, and I think it's going to get weak, and I think they're going to concede goals to teams throughout the season, like a Jack Grealish. And I think they're going to leak goals.
Yeah.
And okay, well, let's go on to their upcomings. Florian Wirtz, Ekitike, Frimpong, great signing. Kirkes, great signing.
Mamardashvili.
Mamardashvili is going to be great when Alisson season or two. He's going to be competing for that next season. I don't think this season, but the season after. It's been an amazing window for them. Like, yeah, I can't fault it, but they just need a centre back. I can't glaze over the fact.
8.5.
I'll give it a 9. I mean, I've just been nice to Liverpool. I think Florian Wirtz is exactly what they needed in the attack.
Yeah.
I think again, Liverpool were the best attacking team last season. But and that attack has just gotten better. You lose Luis Diaz, but he didn't seem to want to play. You lose your weak links in Darwin Núñez. No offense to Darwin Núñez, he was great, but
he did the job.
already, yeah, he did the job.
He filled the position.
But you bring in Ekitike and you bring in Florian Wirtz, and Florian Wirtz is going to do exactly what Salah was the creator last season. Everything went through him, but now everything is going to go through Wirtz. I think it's going to create a lot more options because then he can give it out to Salah, sorry, or he can give it out to but then he can also switch with Gakpo, and he can roam into those deeper, wider areas, and then he can play as like a half winger. But he can also then, if they sign Isak, they have the idea to Ekitike to drop back, and he can play as a ghost strike. I just think Wirtz was the perfect player to sign because he can do anything in that midfield. I think now that they have these options, if they get Isak as well, their attack is going to be able to do whatever they want because they play so fluid.
I think they'll be able to if they get Isak, it will literally be, okay, we'll concede this many, we'll score one more than you.
Yeah. It's just, that seems like their attack's going to be so fluid, and I think Wirtz is a perfect player for that because he can do whatever you want him to do in that attacking midfield. But I'll give it a 9. I just think they need a centre-back.
Yeah.
Personally.
So, Manchester City signed...
Had a good window as well.
Huh?
They've had a good window as well.
They've had a good window as well. They've got Ait Nouri, Ryan Cherky, Reindeers, James Trafford.
I will say, they did lose Grealish.
They have lost Grealish. Massive loss. So already down to at least a 7.
I mean, you could get similar.
Foden's probably gonna have another kid, so that's lose him for half a season. So.
But let's be real.
I think if James Trafford starts over Ederson.
I mean, there's already talks of Ederson leaving the club, but James Trafford's not starting this season because if Ederson leaves the club, they bring in Donnarumma for the season. That's what the talks is. James Trafford is here to play under and then maybe get some starting minutes, which is a shame. He should be starting.
He should be
You
starting. He's
bought him
England's
back.
best goalkeeper.
You bought him. Yeah,
Yeah,
you bought
he
him
is.
back. Like I don't know what you want. But Ryan Cherokee, he's signing. He's only 21, even though he looks about 30. He's only 21.
I think that'll be.
Atinori was a good
Yeah.
good left back. Ryan is a good centre midfield. He's going to be able to do. I can't. I'm not gonna. It was. Of course, you lose KDB, and you.
But you've
Jack
got another
Grealish.
great player there, and Foden
But
can also
KDB,
play in that
yeah.
role as well. So
Nah, Foden's not going to play that role. Marmoush is going to be playing that role.
Mm.
You lose KDB, but that's what you were planning to do. You were planning to phase him out for Marmoush because he is getting older. And I think Atinori is a good addition in that. I can't fault them. Rodri's coming back. They've signed some good defensive options. They've signed Cherokee, who's going to be able to play that cam. They're going to be able to play their two cams of Marmoush and Cherokee, and Haaland's going to be able to do. It all depends on the passing in the midfield, and I
it's
think
just a shame they've lost Grealish.
I know it's really sad. You don't understand.
So,
but it's not over. They
might recall him from loan before the season starts.
That's not what I mean by it's not over. Their transfer window is not over because, of course, Tottenham are in talks with Savinho. They signed Savinho, and then it's reported that Man City are going to go for Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Who I don't like that, but you know.
Yeah, Man City out of 10.
They've 8. I think they've had a decent.
I think 7 because they lost Grealish. I think that's fair. 7.5 because they lost Grealish.
I think, well, yeah, they've lost Grealish and they lost O'Brien, but they've been ready for that, and I think they're only going to get better. Rodri's coming back. I think it's an 8.
Yeah, fair enough. And then Manchester United. Cunha. Mbeumo.
Cunha, Mbeumo,
Diego Leon.
Yeah.
Might get Belieber, possibly. We'll give him a 6 because it could go either way for him. So Newcastle have signed Anthony Elanga, Aaron Ramsdale.
They tried so hard.
Jacob Ramsey and
Swangsu
Park. I've written him down because I'm looking forward to seeing him.
I feel so bad for them. They tried so hard. There was a time where it looked like they were going to get Ekatike and keep Isak, and they were going to get James Trafford as well. They tried so hard, and nothing worked.
Have they signed another keeper? I don't. Oh, they got Ramsdale.
Yeah, Ramsdale.
Ramsdale's. Is that Ramsdale they replaced with Dubravka?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to maybe change from they're gonna finish.
Like their losses aren't massive.
No.
Their losses.
I feel like they could have signed a better keeper though.
Hey, he's good for 80% of the game.
He's good for 80% of the game, and then they got relegated for 3 seasons out of the 4 he's played in the Premier League.
Hey, he played 2 seasons at Arsenal.
Oh, did he? He didn't actually play 1, did he?
Yeah, he did. Well, I think he played 3 seasons
at Arsenal. One of the seasons?
Yeah, I think he played 3 seasons at Arsenal.
Ah.
I'm not 100% sure.
But
Malik, I don't know how to say it. Theo is a good centre back signing. Good bolstering the centre back for that Premier League season. Anthony Elanga, I will say I'm excited to see how he plays next to Gordon. I don't rate Anthony Elanga that highly. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good player. I'm interested to see how him and Gordon plays because there's just pace up front. And I think the perfect game, the first game of the season is Villa. I'm really interested to see how they'll both, because of course Newcastle versus Villa is always great in the Premier League, and obviously they play such different styles, and I think Newcastle counter them perfectly. And I'm very interested to see how they play, but of course they need a striker. That's what they need. If Isak's not going to stay, and if he does stay, it's just going to be so awkward. I don't see what Isak's done. I don't agree with what Isak's done. Not to the point of saying I want to leave, but to the point of you should just train it. I said it was Roy Keane was, you just train and play. Because all you do now is if they refuse to let you, you're on a 4-year, they can ruin your career just because you refuse to play, you refuse to train. Let's say they don't let you leave.
Yeah.
And
then you're gonna have a strap on for another 2 years, and
you either play, but you've not trained, and the team's not gonna like you, and you're not gonna be as good. Your stock's gonna drop. Liverpool might not want you next season because of how it's been. or they sell you. That best case scenario for him is they sell him and he goes to Liverpool and he wins me lots of fantasy points. But but
Say.
let's say that doesn't happen. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, they're kind of. I feel like the window's getting thin on top strikers now as well.
As I've said earlier in the episode, I'd love them to have Ollie Watkins, but
I can't see Watkins moving from Villa's window.
yeah, it's interesting.
How do we want to rate Newcastle? 5.
I don't. It's bog standard. They've not done
Yeah.
too much, but they've not done.
Had some good outs, had some good ins.
Yeah, I'm not gonna shit on it too much.
6,
Just yet.
7.
I don't get. But they haven't done things I want them to do, so I'll give it a 5 or a 6.
Okay, cool. So Forest, I've written down, quote, no one too impressive.
Well, they kept Gibbs White.
They've kept Gibbs White in a legal case, but they haven't made, from what I could see the other day, they haven't made any, haven't got any too impressive signings. They've lost Alanga as well.
Well, they got in Doy. And Doy is a right winger to replace Alanga. That is a good replacement.
Yeah.
They play very different styles, of course. And Doy is not. Well, I say this about Gordon and Alanga. I say they're just pace. Obviously, they're not just pace, but they are very fast players. And Doy is more of he's a different winger.
Yeah. I just
Igor
feel like
Jesus
Forest
from
so
Botafogo,
far.
he's 24, 20 mil. A good striker option because I don't think Chris Wood's going to do as well. And of course, James McAtee as well.
Oh shit! Yeah, I missed that.
Well, it's not completely confirmed yet, but it's looking very likely.
Yeah.
So if that happens, that would be a good little signing for them, a good attacking midfielder to play alongside
Gibbs White. I just feel like they could have done more so far with their window. With the seasons that they've had, the last 2 seasons they've had, I feel like they could have done more already. But
I don't know. They seem like they've been put all of their effort into. They replaced what they've lost. They've strengthened what they need to. I don't think Chris Wood's going to have the season he's had this season, and I think they're betting on Igor Jesus or who is it? Who's that? Who was the striker last year that they expected to do well? I forget.
That guy. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, they brought in Igor Jesus. And I don't expect. I don't expect them to perform to a third place standard the whole of the season. But I think they'll be competing for maybe a Europa League, a Conference League spot.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shit on it. I think Enjoy is a good signing. I think that if they get James McAtee, that's a great signing. I'll give it a solid. Again, I feel like I'm giving a lot of teams a 6, but I think
and it is. I mean, there is still plenty of time in the window. Last year, everyone did their business in the second half of the window.
Yeah.
So there's still plenty of time for everyone to.
There's about 20 days left in the window.
Yeah, they got
and people start to panic because the first game of the season, but the first 2 weeks left of the transfer window.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Moving on to Sunderland, they've got Simon Adingra, Granit Xhaka, and Mark Guay from Chelsea on loan. Pretty good.
Yeah, I can't say.
Can't fault it.
Either. I've said they sold Bellingham. And of course that's going to be he was their best player last season. He was one of the best players in the Championship last season. And I won't say that, but you can't. They sell Joe Bellingham for 30 mil, and they did what Watford should have done when they lost João Pedro. They've signed they've turned that straight. Well, they turned that money straight around. They signed Habib Diarra, new centre midfielder from Strasbourg. Strasbourg, of course, great at developing talent, and I can't say I know too much, but I will say Strasbourg have a good record recently. especially with their Chelsea players. Simon Adingra, who had a great season last season, good breakout season. Can't say I enjoy. I think he'll play like that Summersville role a few seasons ago. Granit Xhaka, he's going to be their captain. He's going to bring that passion into he's going to bring exactly what they need into that locker room. He's gonna show them what they need to do to stay up. He's going to show them what they should do as a team. He's going to bring them together. He's going to kill Newcastle. And Mark Guiu.
Mark.
Yeah, I think he's a good striker. He's young. He's on loan from Chelsea. How old is he? He's 20. He's 20. He's 19. And he didn't do as well. But I think Mark Gui will be able to thrive under Sunderland. So they're not expecting anything from him. And that's what he needs. He just needs a very, very free flowing play style, and he'll be able to improve as a player. And I think that's exactly what he needs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much more to say for Sunderland, really. They've done what they've needed to do so far this window. I'm happy to give it like a 7, 6.
I think I'll give him a 7 or an 8. I think they've done all they can do, similar with Burnley, and we've just got to see how it goes later on in the season.
Yeah, I'm happy to give it a 7. So now Spurs obviously made the big signing of Mohamed Kudus and João Palhinha. I think 2 good players there to strengthen their squad.
Spurs seem to want to sign every single player under the sun to play in that left wing cam position. They want to sign every single left winger and cam on the planet. And I just they want to sign. They still want to. Then they're still going for more. They want to sign Savinho. They wanted to sign Gibbs White.
Who's their manager now?
They're Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
They're still going for Savinho. They want to sign Eze as well. They wanted to sign Gibbs White. They signed Kudus. They have what's his name? The Welshman. Brennan Johnson.
Yeah.
They have Madison, who's obviously gone down for this. But let's say they sign 2 more players. They've got Kudus, who's a right winger. They've got Kudus, Eze, Savinho, who's also a right winger. Madison and Brennan Johnson. Realistically, you're going to need to sell one of those next season, and I think it will be Madison. But it's just obviously they signed Mateus Tell. He was on loan, and now he's here. They've strengthened their centre backs with Danso, who did well in League One last season. I can't say I know Luka Vuskovic, and of course Højbjerg for Paulinho.
Good trade.
I think, but I can't say.
I think Spurs would be decent this season.
I think
they'll be up there. They won't be fighting for a Champions. I think they'll be fighting for a Europa League spot at least.
From a sneaky point of view, Spurs have done everything they need to do.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted every other team. They've not done it to extreme. They've done it to a good standard where they'll see how it works and they'll make corrections. But they've done everything they need to do. They've signed some new attacking options. They're still looking to sign someone to replace Madison, whether that be Eze or whoever. And they're still looking at another winger. But they've done everything they wanted to do. And we'll see how it works out in the season. So I'll give it an 8. I think they've done an 8 or a 9. I mean, of course, they missed out on Gibbs White, and I think they are still investing heavily into those 2 positions. But we'll see how it rolls.
Yeah. So now West Ham, I've got 2 key signings again. Obviously, they've managed to snag Walker Peters as a free.
Yeah, it's a good little signing.
Great signing.
Very Aaron Wan-Bissaka-esque.
Yeah, and also Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
I
think Tobido is a very good signing. He was a big part in why Nice did so well.
I didn't include him because he was obviously there last season on loan, and they've just bought him off the loan.
Yeah. But of course, he was a big part of Nice's success.
Yeah.
And it's just signing him on a deal is very good. Carl Walker Peters as well.
I really like Walker Peters. I think it's a shame that he got released on a free.
Yeah, I mean, a shame, but he just doesn't want to be in the Championship.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very like when Wan-Bissaka came to West Ham. I think he's going to do very solid for them. I don't have any problems with that. I don't think he's going to be anything special.
He'll be a
Of course,
good
it hurts.
team player. He'll fit in well.
It hurts that you lose Mohamed Kudus. Like you get what is very much worth, but it hurts that you lose Mohamed Kudus and you lose some club legends as well. But I mean, what do you expect? You're a midway point club at the moment. You're nothing.
Nothing special.
You don't really have that much. You've signed this.
One of the smallest London clubs.
You've signed this El Hadji Malik Diouf, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's not much to say with West Ham, really.
I think I'm not gonna say it's amazing because you lost one of your best players, but it is a good. It's a decent little window. I'll say that.
Not bad so far. 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 or 5.
Yeah, we'll ballpark it in the middle 5. And then to finish up the 20 teams, Wolverhampton Wanderers. I've written nothing great, but then again, I've just realised it's Wolves, so they're not going to sign anyone great because they're probably going to get relegated this season.
I don't want Wolves to get relegated.
I don't want Wolves to get relegated, but they were fucking pushing it last year.
The story of Wolves continues. They do shite the first half of the someone here. They do shite the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And then they pick it up in the third quarter, and then they just like cruise into 16th.
They just managed to
yeah
get over the line. But
to be
they're
fair,
really pushing it.
Well, to be fair, they didn't just manage it last time because they were above Everton and
yeah. But now they've also lost Cunha.
Wolves have lost Cunha. Basically, that's pretty much everything that's happened. I don't know. I haven't really been monitoring Wolves as transfer window, but they've lost their leading scorer.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to struggle to replace him, obviously, but I can't see them doing much this year.
I mean, they lost Strand Larsen as well.
Yeah,
they're like they're a striker from last
both
season.
their strikers.
Oh no, they signed Strand Larsen on a permanent.
Have they? Oh yeah, that sounds more right.
Yeah, they lost Ati Nori, they lost Nelson Semedo, they lost Pablo.
Yeah, so they've lost 2 of their best players last year, in Cunha and Ainori.
Yeah, and just some other and some
yeah. So I think they're really gonna struggle this year.
But they signed Strand Larsen, who did well last season, and you can only think he's going to improve now that he's the number 1 option.
Yeah. Rate a 4.
I don't know. They lost their best player and they signed
2.
No one with it. I'll give it a 3.
So now for my favourite part of the show, a new section that we'll be including every single week called Bets on Boots. Fun fact, it was going to be the new title of the show and a reband I was planning, and I fucked it off to keep us in a showdown and just title the section Bets on Boots. What we're going to do is each game week have a £1 ACCA with crazy high odds, whether it be 1 to not crazy high, like thousands. It's probably quite hard and probably quite easy, but it'll be difficult for it to actually land. But
like just like a decent little five leg bet.
Yeah.
That's not crazy.
Not
but
crazy. It has a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, and hopefully a little bit of fun. And I will say, if you are over 18, please gamble responsibly. Don't do what we're doing and put £100 on each one because that is fucking stupid.
We're not putting £100 on each one.
No, yeah, we're not. We're putting £1 on it. It's only for a little bit of fun. We both work a lot, pretty much full-time hours, so we can afford it. If you're under 18, do not gamble. It's the devil's bane. Yeah.
Have you got a bet ready for the first game week?
I don't. Well, I want to do, like I said before, a season outright.
Yeah.
And also a game week 1.
Well, I crafted one for the game week, but the one I've got for the game week so far is I'll read it out to you and you can Newcastle to beat Villa because as I've said I think they match up perfectly and always is a fun game. I think as I said I've got Wolverhampton to beat Man City, which is a stretch, but I think it could happen. I've got Arsenal versus Man United. I've got both teams to score. I've got Florian Wirtz to get a goal or an assist against Bournemouth because, as I've said, their defense is looking very weak.
Yep.
I've got Leno over 2.5 saves against Brighton because I think they'll just be whammying them at him, and Leno obviously being one of, if not the best shot stopper in the league. And I've got Mark Guiu over
Mark
2
Gui
shots on target
against
against West Ham.
So my one is Ekitike to have a shot on target over 0.5 shots on target versus Bournemouth. Chelsea to score over 2.5 goals versus Palace. Both teams to score, United v Arsenal. Leeds and Everton to draw, and Elanga to get a goal or assist. Yeah, that is the end of episode 1. Back on Sunday Showdown. We hope. Oh, I'm in the dark.
What's the end of the episode? You don't need to be in the light.
End of the episode. Thank you everyone for listening, or if you are listening, if you are watching, thank you very much, and we will see you again same time next week. Thank you very much.
Bye.